Hi, I'm Sonali Verma from KP classes, and today we are going to learn about human anatomy basics. Okay, and this is our session 12. So, before starting anything, before getting into all the technicalities, we will discuss some historical examples which has been there so that we have evolved to this state where we can make human anatomy from head to toe very, very easily. Okay. So, here are some visual references for the same. As we all know, this most famous uh, image by Leonardo da Vinci, the Norwegian man, where he was the first person who literally researched about the human anatomy, okay, some different aspects during the 16th century, and he created this image after a lot of research on dead bodies and human body studies, because of course in the Renaissance in the 15th century it was not very common for the live models or the other human forms, so that you could study it inside, okay, from inside to out. So of course we took examples from the dead body. So he created this Norwegian man with very, very basic terminology to measure how can anyone basically make the basic human anatomy. Okay, how can anyone make a human figure? Okay, so again, this is very, very technical. We won't go into that much of technicality right now, but at the same time, we will jump into the modern era of how to measure our basic human anatomy sketches. Okay, so for the same, Leonardo da Vinci took inspiration from fingers and hands, right? But in today's era, we will take inspiration from head, because of course, fingers and hands are way more complicated than head. So by evolving it to this day, we have come to a technicality, okay, of the measurement of a basic human anatomy. This might sound, the whole lecture might sound very confusing or very complex, but this is one of the major parts which is going to come in your examination. Okay. Questions from human anatomy have come in UCEED examination a lot of times, where your whole answer is being judged on the basis of how understandably, how aesthetically you are presenting the human body. Okay, the postures, the gestures, the hand gestures, the neck gestures, the facial expressions, everything matters. Okay, so we are gonna divide our human anatomy into 3 sessions. Okay, today we are gonna learn from entirely basics from zero. Okay, how to make and how to measure a human body. Although we don't need these measurements in every figure, but once we make it by making the notes, it is gonna be very easy for you to make human body figures and gestures and positions in different manner. So starting with our first step. Okay? So as I just said, our first step is gonna be measurement. So why are we making these measurements in the first place? So that we can make a stick figure. Okay. Stick figure is equal to a skeleton of a horse. Okay. So whenever you have the position of the skeleton, this will add more mass to it. Right? So for the same, we have our A head figure structure. Right? So before I step 1, I would like to discuss this one little thing. We all know where is it gonna come, but we will discuss it furthermore, just to be very, very clear about why are we learning about the basic human anatomy. So for the same, we are learning how to make human body, postures, etc. to understand and being able to draw basic to advanced human figures, right? As we just discussed, it's very important to understand the basic terminology and technology of your human body. Okay. These are to be used in your perspective drawing, where you have to create a scene, where you have to create any memory drawing, right? So the next part is, of course, memory scene creation. So again, all of our topics are submerged as well, as we discussed in our previous sessions as well. We we are learning about all the tools which we are going to use to create this one answer, right? And human body is one of the major portions of that. So once you understand how to form a scene using human figures, half of the paper is going to solve automatically. Okay. So again, this is one of the major topics and the most hardest topic. So please try to draw with me in this, because this is gonna score you very, very good marks. Okay? In your examination. So other than that, we will use the human anatomy for the scene creation, for your character design as well. After our human anatomy, you will learn about the character design as well. This is a more exaggerated version of a human anatomy. Okay, so everything from this portion requires a very major understanding of the human body proportion. Okay. So, and even for the character design drawing, where we will get questions from, comic strip or storyboarding, etc. Your understanding of the human anatomy will be required, even in all the topics you are going to learn further. Okay? So, we will start with the measure. Basically, our technicalities. Okay? So, as we discussed, we have this 8 human body figure structures. Right? So, for the same, we are gonna take 8 heads of a human body. Okay? So, in the first go, if you can do it without a measurement, that's great. We are gonna use a scale, because again, this is our entirely basic. So, mark your 9 head pointers, okay, starting from 0 to 8, okay, giving 1 inch of gap in every, between every head. Okay. So, I will just say starting from 0, there is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so let's take a fresh page for, better understanding of this one figure entirely. Because again, this is required, because again, this is the origination. Okay? You don't have to always have correct measurements, but do draw it whenever we are making these notes. Do make notes for your human body anatomy. Okay, because yes, this is gonna be very important for your basic understanding of all the structures. Okay, in every scene creation. So again, 0, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, joining the whole line into the one figure, which is going to be the center of our body, and one baseline, something like this. So, and we are going to mark everything from head to toe in this figure, and later on, when we practice, we will try to make it without any guidelines. But till the time we are practicing all this, you need the guidelines. Okay, so make this figure again and again, mark your 8 heads again and again, so that you have that inbuilt quality, inbuilt understanding of how and where should my knee lie, should my wrist lie, should my ankle lie, etc. Right? So, starting from your head. Okay. So, head is your oval structure. We will always take the head as this, oval figure. right? Be it your line drawing, be it your 3D drawing, etc. Okay. So, and we will mark it along with the whole line super. So, our A part is what? Head. Okay. So, not we will specify it a little more. So, our head will end at 1. Okay. We are using numbers and the alphabet for defining all of our structure. Okay. I'm marking it A. Because again, this is gonna be a little more complicated. That's why I'm marking it entirely. Then we have our B part, which is the elbow area. Okay. I'll tell you why. First of all, it will lie between the third head and fourth head. Okay. Which is between 3 and 4. Okay. So, we are gonna make an oval shape like this. Because one of the reasons whenever we are having your line drawing, okay, there are some tools we use, okay. Head being the first tool we use to understand the structure of your head, where the head will lie. Second portion is your pelvis area, so that we can have, the middle of the body part. Okay. For example, again taking example from your Leonardo da Vinci, he created the square shape, and then a circle, and then put the figure inside it using different angles. If you focus on the legs as well, he also took it from a different angle and perspective. So that using this figure, one can make very aesthetically accurate human figure. Okay. So again, this is very, very technical with a lot of equations, but just giving an example of how in between of everything, be it circle, be it square, be it this whole body figure, the pelvis area arrives. Okay? So that we can have a middle of our body. So this we will mark as B. Okay. We will take some distance because we are gonna make joints as well. So this is our B. Continuing with your C point, which is the legs and knees. Okay, so keeping it simplified means at your sixth head and your ankle at 8. Okay, so after dividing your whole body into these two portions, now half of it, okay, which is gonna be 6, is where your knee should lie. So for the same, again we are making the line drawing, okay, using all your basic shapes. So first of all, we will make 2 hip joints. We will define these as well, but yeah, this is for your guideline. Okay, so just beside your pelvis area, there are 2 your hip joints. Then parallel to your hip joints, your knee area will lie. Okay, so we will mark it like 2 circles. Okay, and similar to that, at your 8th point for ankle area. Okay, and here go your feet, right? The bottom of your leg. Okay, so we will mark this as feet. Okay. Again, I'm clarifying every part so that whenever you are making this sketch, do clarify this for yourself, for your own self notes. Because again, the more you make this figure, the more understanding you will get. Okay. Again, this might be a little bit very technical and complicated, but again, one of the major topics, okay? And one of the hardest as well. Topics other than the human body anatomy, we are going to take a lot of examples, a lot of inspiration from this one single topic. This is a very long one, but once you master this, half of the paper, half of the marks is going to be finished. Okay? So, continuing to your B point. which is your rib cage and belly. Okay, as we define the lower part of our body, we are going to define the upper part of the body as well. So, first of all, the rib cage will lie between 1 and 2. So, this will be the starting of your rib cage. Okay, we'll mention starting. Okay, and at the same time, we are gonna mark our end of neckline also. So basically, not to complicate things, your end of neckline, okay, is equals to starting of rib cage. Again, some general knowledge, okay. So imagining that, but again, this might be one of the toughest points, this might be one of the toughest topics, but this is one of those topics which you see and observe on everyday life. Okay? Like walking around, just go and observe different human body structures, your own body structure, how and where it's starting, where it's ending. Okay? So we are going to do a lot of personal observation in this exercise, in this whole topic as well. Okay? So again, as we mentioned here, end of your neckline. End of your neckline will lie between 1 and 2. Okay? So between 1 and 2, this is the end of our neckline. Okay? End of your neckline is equals to starting of your rib cage. Right? So we will mark it as a little curve. Okay? Something like this. Right? Because again, our shoulders are slanted downwards, right? So, and then first ending of your rib cage, end of your rib cage, कहाँ पे lie करेगा? Between 2 and 3. Okay? Between second head and your third head. Okay? So, which is basically somewhat here. We will mark it like this as well. Basically, whenever we draw this line figure, line drawing, we always mark such shapes in a wider perspective so that we can have the elevation of a particular area. Okay. And other than that, we follow the line drawing, such as skeleton. Okay, taking reference from it. So, and the rest of the area between these two, the rib and your pelvis area, is your belly. Okay? So we will connect it like this. Because why are we making a triangle? Because this is where your navel will lie. So this is your B. Now basically your rib. Again, keeping some distance. Because we are to make more and more hand and shoulder joint. Okay, so now we have your C part, which is your hip cage and belly. Now we'll jump to your E, which is your joint, right? More joint. We will follow from your shoulder to down. Okay. So, as you know, out of general knowledge, I'm not adding more and more points into it, like we have in the curriculum. I just want to keep it short and shorter, so we are going to use most of your common sense. Okay? But again, we are going to go little bit more exaggeration of the same figure. But before that, we have our shoulder joints. Okay. Of course, your shoulder joints will lie where you're along with your rib cage, right? So we will make these two joints here parallel to which your E point comes. Okay, your arms line. Okay, so basically your elbow your elbow joint, because again we are making joints right now, and we are gonna connect it by the end of this figure to make this figure complete. Okay. Your elbow will lie at end of your rib, okay, which is so parallel to which is here, we'll have our elbow joint. And we have our wrist, yes, which will be just adjacent to picture. We will add so to the finger. So following your same pattern, you will make these shapes. Okay. So now connecting all of this. Okay. So even for connecting, we have some little guidelines. Okay. So for this one, outward to outward, right, and inward to inward. For the hands, we can still use, straight lines such as these, connecting the two joints together, because we can have and add more mass into it, but it's not a huge difference, okay? But for the legs, we are always gonna follow this technique, which is outward to outward, okay? Like both the joints, following them outward to outward. And for the calf area, we'll go inverted, okay? So, somewhat like this, invert to. And why are we making such guidelines, outward to outward and inward to inward, so that we can have this particular arc in your whole body, and whenever we are following your, adding more mass into your skeleton figure, such as this figure, right? We have a different trophy here. So your first step is to make the line drawing. Okay. Then we are gonna add more cuboidal shape and more mass into it, so that we can create a shape like this. Okay. And we can manipulate the shape according to our line drawing, according to our requirements, okay, into different forms. And once we achieve this figure, of course, on paper, for the rest of the topic, which is draping of your human body figure, will get very, very easy. Okay? So, again, coming back to our line drawing, okay? We have connected all the points. Okay? So, this is your first, initiation towards a human body anatomy. So again, I repeat, do not underestimate this, all these measurements. I know it can be very, very technical, but this is gonna score you very, very good marks, okay? All these little technicalities, okay? For example, how the elbow joints will lie where, end of your rib cage. So whenever you are making a figure as well, in different, any kind of shape, you always remember the elbow will be at the end of your rib, right? So that is why making this figure is very, very important. Okay? Similar to that, below our wrist, your palm and finger, your hand basically, will add a guideline for that. Okay? So, again, before moving forward in this video, to make this, to read what I've written, do write all these down as well, so that whenever you go back, whenever you come back to this figure, you always have that guide. Okay? So, moving forward to more specification. Okay. So, our step 2 is more specifications. Okay, that's a little bit of more information about how to add before adding a lot of mass into a body. Before adding up to body shape, some little steps, some little information you should know. Okay? So starting with the A, which is the shoulder. So again, for any human figure, for any personality also, if you want to fit, your trapezius matters a lot. Okay, I will explain what is trapezius now. So your trapezius is equal to the mass around the shoulder. Okay, it can be because of your again gender, your overall growth, age, hormones, and a lot of people can manipulate it also, right? So to exercise. And this can be manipulated because of diseases as well. And we will have a good example of how tribal people manipulated in their own way. Okay, because you get a lot of history, right? And due to mythology as well. Okay. Again. So taking example. So before example, as we discussed in your previous image, where will our shoulder lie? Between 1 and 2. Okay. End of your neckline and sideways. Right? One more information about this is most of the time, yes, trapezius does affect and is constantly changing your shoulder length and wideness of your shoulder overall look wise, but for an average overview, your two shoulder joints will be equal to width of 3 of your head. Okay, if you can see my under height as well. My shoulder joints are lying into 3 of my head ribs. Okay, so practically also like 2 shoulder joints will be equal to, imagine 2 more heads here. Okay, so the width of 3 of them. Okay. Again, just for a general example, so that you won't make the shoulder very, very scrunched up. Okay, their whole figure can be, looking weird because of that. And all we are to do in your examination is to make that figure aesthetically correct. Okay, now some pointers which we are learning right now to check on those before making your whole human body figure before relating it. Right? So again, taking example of the trapezius. So with the example, with the information we just took, we will always follow that no matter how your trapezius is. Okay. Trapezius will only matter when you are adding more mass to the figure. Okay. Taking an example, so basically this is your figure, right? So right now we are making average trapezius. So this is like a human body. So basically your shoulder line will be your end of your neckline, slanting a little, and 2 of your shoulder joints. Okay. So this is your average, where I have not added a lot of mass into the whole bone structure. but there is some margin. Okay. For the next example, we will take a same picture. Okay. So if this is our average, so first of all we make a guideline. Okay. Unlike this one. So this is your bone structure, right? See it overhead. But when a person who has manipulated their trapezius or due to any factor which I've mentioned here, the trapezius will uplift more, which will be depicted like, little more muscle pressure. Where the average one was a little lower, in general it's a little lower naturally. The person exercising a lot, if they develop the muscle, it will look uplift. Okay? So see how the trapezius is going up. Even the neck area will get a little wider. But so we will call this over developed. So what I am trying to depict through such examples is your line drawing is going to be different for your own terminology and technicality. Then you are going to add more mass into it, and for that matter, you are going to take such examples and such reminders in your head that if my figure is a person who goes to gym or who's younger, okay, who's health oriented and more focusing on their health, then we have to make their shoulder a little upward, right? Okay, over the glass. Similar to this, I'll have two more examples, okay? So we have done average and your overdeveloped. So of course, whenever due to again a lot of reasons, a lot of issues as well, if a person is most of the time underweight or weak due to any reason, they will have less in general line figure dialing down. Okay? And your trapezius will also be very much attached to your bone structure. Right? So again, this is your line drawing is your bone structure. Okay? To be more clear. So we will call it under developed trapezius. Okay? And for the last example, we have you must have seen people from this side in your Discovery channel or your social media anywhere, and if you have not seen, then you Google Cayenne tribe, okay, AYN. So basically, what they do because of their superstition and again unrealistic beauty standards, from a very young age, they start wearing such metal hoops around their neck because they have a concept of a very long neck. Okay? So what happens in this case, all your bone structure is being supported by this piece of jewelry. Okay? Which is, such jewelry with like round, big, metal structure, mostly golden in color. Okay? So, in this scenario, what happens to your stretchability of your neck? And because this happens so very young age, their trapezius most of the time does not exist. Okay, so basically long neck of kind stride, kind woman. Basically, have no trouble. Okay. So again, this was an example. Moving forward, we have your second part of more of your, in-depth information. Okay. Like more in specification. So we have done a frontal figure of your line drawing, and in order to understand more, we will do profile for your rib cage and legs. Okay. So for the same, we will add a heading, rib cage and leg profile. Okay. So till now, we know how to make the whole structure in a frontal view. Okay. So for the same, we are gonna have a different profile so that we can have more information about it. Okay. So again, starting with our basic structure, you can mark the scale. Again, you can use the scale, you can not use the scale. So I'm not gonna use scale for now. This will also give you a better understanding while making any figure, a little idea where you are not using any scale, you are just going with your instinct. Okay. So after you have made this figure at least twice or thrice, you'll have that understanding as well. Okay. So again, this will be a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So having a middle line here, dividing all our points to the middle, adding a base after your 8 head. Okay. So right now we are gonna do a side profile. So always in your side profile, remember this very basic hack you can use to make the human head is to make a water droplet and rotate it. Okay. So how are we going to do this? Is to make a water droplet, right, and to rotate it also. So for the same, we are going to rotate your water droplet structure like this, and we'll add more human features into it. Okay, such as your jawline. So again, for the line drawing, you don't even need to do that because we are gonna add more and more depth towards it in what next few cuboidal figure. Whenever we are gonna add more marks to that particular thing, right? So this is your side head profile. Always in any human figure, we are gonna make the head first, and all the body will lie after, right? So again, your first part where your head will end is the first, right? The first head. So first, this is gonna be the first one. So as usual, we will mark the pointers one so that you can have better understanding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So in 1 and 2, our next will end, right? So for the same, we will have a little slanted structure, like this. Again, to observe on any human figure or yourself as you are into the mirror, your neck shape will go sideways, okay? Slanted by the end of like this, and your rib cage will start after that. Okay. So for now, we are not gonna go and take consideration of a proper figure, okay, because we are gonna do it in the next part. So for now, again, we are gonna add a figure like this for your side profile. So for this also, I'm taking the oval shape, how your lung shape is. Even in a line drawing, if you are taking the original structure of a particular human body part, it's gonna help you in the next step or draping as well. Okay. So, okay, something like this as well, you can make it as this as well, okay, for a more geometric form, okay, and then you can just curve it out, right? I've done literally the same. I made this basic shape and then carved it out and then erase rest of the structure. So, as we all know, the chest area is in the outward position, right? So, connecting it to your end of the neck and pushing it outwards, we have a such kind of figure, okay? Again, you can take the example of the droplet. Just take a droplet, rotate it, and connect it from this pointer where your neck is. Okay, so this is your case profile. Connecting to that, a pelvis will lie somewhat here, right? Between 3 and 4. So we're going to take the guideline like this. Okay, we will not connect the rib line right now. I'll do it in the next part, so that we can understand the structure of it in more details, okay? So, this is your between 3 and 4 pelvis area will lie, and as discussed in this figure, at 6 point, your medial one, okay? And at the 8th point, your ankle will lie. So, we are going to take same example, outward to outward, okay, and inward to inward, following with the feet. Okay, again I will repeat, because we have that arc, we have that curve area in your leg, we are always gonna follow this outward to outward and inward to inward pointer. Okay, so basically here was our joint, right? Somewhat here. So from outward of the hip joint to the outward of the knee joint, we have this one single arm. Okay, connecting it like a curve. Okay, and for the calf area, we will follow the same. Again, you can observe your basic human anatomy on yourself as well. You can observe your own body parts, how they are following each other, and how the shaping it happens. Okay. For the same, we have these guidelines, we have these little pointers. So, again, outward to outward and inward to inward, so that we can have the curve of the calf as well, along with the thigh. Okay. For the rest area, we can just connect it directly, right, whenever we are making the normal figure. Giving you just an example, we connect this area like this, right? The rest of it is going like a line, because for the hip, we already have a structure towards it. For the same, we will attach the front leg of the area in a very straight line. From one side, leg profile will go like this. Okay? So, this one more pointer, your red line will always be very, very connected to your chest, of course, again, because following the basic bone structure, every other body part is connected closely to this one other position, right? So for the same, we have a rib line here. Again, we will discuss this into your third portion, your step 3. Okay, so keeping this pure itself for the references. So now we have your step 3, which is how to draw, because I have not combined it into your second step, because knowing how to draw side profile was important. Okay. And separating this from this is very important because your rib line is one of your guidelines as well in a side profile. Okay. This will decide where your body shape is followed. Okay. So again, let me explain it to you with a diagram. I will not make the whole diagram right now. We will just make till your pelvis area, which is the core side. Okay. Again, if you feel like, if you wish like make a whole diagram from head to toe, it will again always benefit you, okay? Into the measurement. So, starting with 0, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So, we will start with the head. Again, your water droplet structure going sideways, right? Adding more depth towards it. Between 3 and 4, you have your pelvis area, okay? Little bit of, we'll push it outward like this. So, this is your 3 and the 4th part. Okay. So, we will push it a little outward to define your hip structure. This is your hip joint, right? In between all that, we have your rib cage as well. So, between 1 and 2, as we discussed here, between 1 and 2, we will have your end of the neckline, right? And here we will have the chest. So before adding chest in any figure, we will define your spine profile. Okay? So for this one, the A part is the spine profile. Okay? Just like your shoulder area, just like your pelvic area, spine profile is very important for any side profile. Okay? So basically, your spine profile will go like a X shape. Okay. Defining this like a little slight X shape, as you mentioned, starting from your end of your neck, following an S shape, and connecting it to your tailbone. As you define that tailbone. So like an S shape, slight S shape, we will do this in this way. So if your body structure is bending more towards the back, the structure of the S will increase. Okay? We are not being able to see it here entirely, but if you will notice a little slant in the structure, okay, so the S shape will go next, okay, following the same structure. Right? So again, we will practice this more. This all will make more sense when we are gonna draw the line figures or the stick figures. So that's how are these pointers helping us, okay, in the whole matter. So before jumping into your last profile, okay, which is your B part, which is very simple to be honest. Again, your last profile is your okay, and your elbow. So as we discussed, in the frontal figure we will discuss this. Like here, we have this example. So again, your elbow will lie at the end of your rib line, and the rest will lie just beside your hip joint. Okay. So as you have seen this example, I'm going to do the same thing in here. Okay, in a side profile, so that we can just have a little more understanding towards it. So again, at the end of your rib line, which is here, we will mark your joint of elbow. Okay. Yes. Green one is your elbow line at the end of your hip joint. your wrist shoulder. Okay. So, and here is our shoulder, of course. So, joining the two like this. Okay. We have your hand. Okay. So again, you can do it here, and of course this looks odd because we are just fixing it at the end of your uh, zip, at the end of your zip structure. Okay. So defining it in just one more at the end of your zip structure, which will end somewhat between 2 and 3 here. Okay. So we will mark your pointer is here. It is here. It's mostly in the backward position, rarely in the upward position. So we are going to connect these two. We are going to connect these two, and we will have your hand structure. Right? Okay. So it was just for more clarity. Although for the same, we have a side to side, which is this. For any side profile, always remember this. This is just your factor and a pointer. Your elbow joint will go a little bit backwards, okay? And your wrist joint will go a little bit forward. This looks very aesthetically pleasing in general. Okay, and this is the way we usually depict your, hands in a normal photo. Okay. Of course, you can do it in a straight manner as well. Of course, it depends on how you want your figure to act to, be in that particular position. But yes, in a random position where you are just creating a crowd, if you feel that there's a need of, just a figure, then you can go with these directions. Okay, like this direction. You can just make your figure a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Okay. So, the last factor, which is your step 4, okay, I will show you the virtual representation. Okay, I've drawn it, and we will get more into it by reading these chapters and why are we learning about it. Okay, so basically, the last pointer is human body proportion. Reminder. Okay. So these reminders have been created and come along after the studies like these. Okay. This sketch is made by your famous Michael Angelo. Okay. And he used to do this for the medical sciences studies, right? Where they were learning more about human body through sketches. Okay? When they were establishing more books. Okay, so this is one of the pages for the same. And the second one goes like this. Okay, so again, this is from the medical plus artistic volume for the same, where they were depicting how they observed this particular image and how they measured this particular image. Okay? Later on, it developed more and more, and now we have very modern way of understanding the human body anatomy. But during that time, they were mixing art and medical sciences together so that they can create a volume, they can create a book. Okay. So this is from the year 1555, right? Very, very, very earlier. And during the Renaissance also started just beside that as well. Okay, and later on, like after this one, after the studies, the perfect human anatomy was made by Leonardo da Vinci with more specifications and technicalities. Okay. We have this one other mention as well, very important mention. This is series of paintings by Fernando Vilcete, okay, which was a very famous painter from Spain. He was the first person to developed and, you know, define more about female human body structure as well. Okay? He has created a Vinita series, it is somewhat like this. It was established in a magazine as well. Okay? So you can see how he studied the woman's body in a very vast manner, in a very biological manner, okay, and in a very detailed manner. Because again, in the history, everyone was focusing majorly on the male body structure, okay, due to a lot of norms as well. But later on, with time, a lot of artists emerged and they, studied female body structure as well so that they can create the perfect portion policy, okay. So again, for the male body structure, we have this average of 8 human head structure, right? For the female body, all of the areas will follow the same. We will learn in more depth about how the female body and male body are different when we are trying to make it in terms of some bone structure, but not entirely. Okay? The only average human female body structure idea is not having 8 human head figures, but having 7 human head figures. Okay? So we are going to just shrink this a little. We are going to do that in the next session, okay, where we will explain a little more about some different human body structures, such as female human body structure and kids as well, okay, and some of the teenagers as well. All basic ideation is same, okay. The elbow joint will lie at the end of your rib cage only, okay. The wrist will lie at the beside your hip joint only, be it any human body figure, be it a kid, be it a female, be it a male, etc. Right? But only the overall proportion will shrink a little, okay, in this structure. So coming back to your fourth point, after researches from all of our famous artists, we have these guidelines, okay, these reminders. I have drawn visually so that we can understand it a little more. So here, as you can clearly see, a human body is bent in this position, okay? In any of this position, if you are sitting, if you are, picking up something, if you are trying to make such figure, then the elbow to your fingertips, okay? Elbow to your fingertips will be equal to your knee to heel. So, whenever you are making a figure which is pitching something which is downwards, which is, bending towards the ground, this will be a basic idea. Okay? Again, you will understand it little more when we are making line drawings and when we are making different body positions as well. But again, just a visual reminder so that you can see these little pointers in my order. Whereas the second pointer we have, the arms are stretched. Okay, if the arms are stretched, your forearm will be, which is again your wrist to your inner elbow area, will be equal to just 1 foot. Again, seems very illogical. Why are we even getting such reminders? But if you look at it in a wider perspective, if there is a figure which is standing like this, okay, like holding their arm outwards, making some kind of gesture, then you will have to understand the feet will be equal to this area, okay. So again, these are some reminders which are to keep in mind while making any human body figure, so that we can have that understanding, okay, this is correct, and this is why our whole body looks easily weird comparatively, okay. So the last factor is, which has been studied by a lot of artists, a lot of medical professionals as well, is whenever your hand is folded, okay, so whenever your hand is folded, it will be equal to 1 palm of the pencil. Okay. Of course, this is a wooden croquis. This cannot bend like a human figure. I'm just showing you the gesture. Just try to look at it in a mirror for yourself. Okay. So Basically, when it's set out, because the human body is flexible, it will be equal to the foot. But when it's bended in, it will be equal to your hand, palm area. Okay? Your fingertips to here. I'm not being able to show it entirely, but try to do it. And if in a 3D format, in a 3D figure, if you're not being able to see that, get yourself reminded that we are doing it in a 2D format. Okay? So for the 2D format, we need all these tools. We need all these reminders in order to make your whole human body figure aesthetically pleasing and accurate. Okay? Because whenever you look back to your figure, whatever position you have made, if you feel one body figure is a little larger, is a little smaller, the overall perception of your human body measurement disturbs. Okay? So we are going to do a lot of observations of your own posture drawings as well. But till now, just stop this video in the middle whenever I was making a line drawing, be it a front profile, be it a side profile. Please continue doing that so that you can have that measurement in your head inbuilt. So that's it for today's human anatomy basics class. For the next session, we will add more marks to your line drawing. Okay, we will make 3D structure in a 2D format so that we can understand how to drape the fabric on the human body. So thanks a lot.